So this one here, I see it downtrending from this point right here. It made a lower low, lower high, and then it right here it broke this previous high. So right here, this is the part where I kind of get confused sometimes. Would I be looking for a sell right here at this zone, or since it broke this previous high, would I be looking for a buy?
Mm-hmm. You get confused on those zones?
I get confused on like when I should when it's like a break of structure, like when it's
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
reversal.
I'll go over that right now.
Okay.
Right, because some are pullbacks right now. I haven't showed you Fib, right?
Yeah, you showed me the Fibonacci.
Oh, did I show you how to determine the Fib, the retracement based on the Fib?
Um, yeah, like with the 786.
No, what's a retracement? I mean, I'll show you right now.
Okay.
All right, which one's another one?
Um,
Or is that the only one that, or that's the only issue?
no, I've been going over some other ones too. This one right here. So I was waiting for this one to make the buy confirmation. Like when it was here the first time, um, like I knew it was gonna go. Well, I kind of called a buy here on this first candle when it went up, and then I wanted it to buy up again somewhere like here. I don't know. I was just waiting for the price action to come back. So when it came back here, I saw another buy right here. That's why I put the long marker here, right above this candlestick, right
You
at
took
this
that buy?
bullish engulfing right here. Huh?
Did you take that buy?
No, I didn't.
But you see how it played out, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I noticed that on a couple of pairs. Let me see.
It'll always do that. It'll have its initial buyers, right? To kind of have those buy orders. You see how it pushes up and then it comes down and it takes all of them out and then it
Hmm.
starts pushing up again. It'll like most of the time it'll do that. Where it holds a certain price, it'll start pushing up because of the buy orders there, and then it'll break through it, and then it'll continue going up as it's the other direction.
Right.
Like, that's why I always wait. Like that's why right there, even if you've entered there with on the previous one, if you've entered around the 78.6, like that's why the stop loss should always be below the previous higher low, right? Below our zone. Because even right there, you would still be safe if the stop loss was below the zone.
Right.
That's why I always wait for that confirmation inside below the 78.6, or whenever I start seeing some sort of support and resistance, I'll wait for a push up and then a push down lower to enter.
Okay. Yeah, see, I did want it to close more in here.
Yeah, because it's always that. It's always looking for to take out those people. Because the majority there that's what they had their reasons. Right here,
So
you see why I took my. Did you see my chart right now?
yeah,
Like it
I
should
saw it.
explain it kind of what you're saying about the zones that is confusing you. But even right here, the market structure, right? You see that second zone that
Right.
you have right there at the bottom, the second one in the middle, around the
This
86,
one.
50, and 86 on the bottom. Draw the market structure starting from right there where you have your cursor.
So from here.
Yeah, draw your market
This.
structure. It pushes up, right? And then it
Right.
right there pushes up and then draw it. Okay, right there, right? Right
Right.
there. you see how on mine, the chart that I sent through Telegram, you see how mine is one whole move to the downside? Because technically, you see how that one didn't break the lower low? That one,
Right.
yeah, that one
So
didn't break the
it's
lower
just
low,
this whole
right?
move here, here, because
Yeah,
that's the push that broke this previous low that
yeah,
created the whole
that one.
structure right
That one
there.
was just holding it again, right? But it was still considered, if it would have pushed up higher, it would have still been a retracement, right?
Right.
And now the one we're doing here is a retracement. And since we're inside that zone, and especially since it's making this double top up there, right, it's a more confirmation to enter those cells.
Okay. And then I was looking at this and I was seeing that this could have like these look like a hanging. That's a hanging man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that would have been the entry right there.
Any entry around that zone on the 1 hour, any 4 hour of those candles, like it's an entry. Even right now where it's currently, yeah, it's a valid entry.
Right.
Or you could even wait for that little small trend line break to enter the sell. And right there where you have it on the 1 hour, that small one right there coming up.
This one
There should be a trend line lining up right there, from right there to your left a little bit, to your left. That one right there from
right here.
top, right there from that green candle to your right. Where you have your cursor to
This
your right. That candle right there, that one right there, that pin bar. If you draw a trend line
this one.
to the right, the little pin bar, right there where you have your cursor, the next
Oh,
candle to the right, green.
this one.
No, right
Oh,
there,
this little
that one
pin
right there.
bar.
Yeah. If you draw a little trend line to the top, it should be holding that price. So you could even be waiting for that to kind of break for you to take that. So right, like if
This
you
right
wait for
here.
that, yeah, that small trend break, you could take that sell. Or even where it's currently. Yeah, I took my sell up there around the 87.10.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but you see how I came up with the setup, everything done over.
Right. Okay. I got you. Because
All
it
right,
was coming down from the left.
let,
It was making
let,
higher lows, lower lows,
what?
lower highs.
Yeah, right there. Let me share my screen now, right?
Okay.
Like, does the zone make sense, more sense to you now?
Yeah.
Like right here, right? Why I didn't mark this one right here? Because this was one whole move for me. Look like this, right? Once it breaks, now we can consider like a pullback, any sort of the new higher low, right, or the new lower high. And then on the euro pair, the one that you said, that those are intermediate zones, right? The smaller zones that kind of it'll mess you up or something like that, right? So
Right.
here, right? Like this is a structure that you have, right here. When you have this kind of structure here, and you're looking for the retracement, and you're looking to see which one is one whole retracement, what I mean by the Fibonacci, use your Fibonacci as confirmation, like this, right? So if this is your move right here, and it does not retrace 50%, well, that's the rule I use. If it doesn't retrace 50%, I don't consider it a retracement. It has to touch the 50% in order for me to consider a retracement, right?
Right.
That. And even when every time I mark it, I'll check the next one, right? Because even throughout this whole market structure that we're doing right now, right? On this one, it was a retracement. And then on this one right here, it was a retracement, right? Because it touched the 50%. But on this whole move that it's creating right now, right here, this is what I mean by it's important to do that, because you see how it just keeps on going, like there's no clear retracement yet, right here. Like none of the highs that it has made has retraced enough for me to consider this a retracement, right?
Right.
Right here. And usually what I'll do for this one's here, right? If I have this, like if I have the zones that you have marked up right here, right? I'll wait for price to go inside that zone and to look for those cells, right? Right here.
Right.
Because I know, even though my main one, the one that broke structure, because over here we broke structure, right? Right here, this was my push up right here, right?
Right.
Like this. This is my pullback, and then technically right here, the one that broke structure is right here where we're currently at, right? Because that was the final pullback. Because up to here we were still bullish, and this was supposed to push up, right? So this is the candle that broke the structure, right? This is the important one right here, right? You see why this is the important one here,
Yeah.
right?
Because it made
Because
the whole push downward.
yeah, this one right here, the volume inside here, this one was the one responsible to break it below here, right? So even here, when you're entering here, right? If you're entering here, your risk reward, because you're obviously entering on this pullback on this zone right here. Anywhere your entry should have been in there, right? Your stop loss above the wicks like this, your risk reward was there, right? Like that.
Right.
And it didn't work out, you got stopped out. But knowing that right here, whenever you see a confirmation, you should have the same entry like that, right? With the same take profit, right? Because it's always about the risk reward, right? So, but even in this area right here where it has something like this, I always wait for that big candle, that big candle that has that volume, right? Especially since the momentum, you see how the momentum is just bullish without any sort of retracement,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's why I kind of see those things too, like, and that's things that little things you start to catch on, right? Like if I would have pushed down here and then I would have done this retest, then I would have maybe taken the sell like this. So if it would have started like a big retracement, right? Because like like when you start seeing price action, you start to move it like this one right here. I consider this is the move right here, right? This is my important candle, and right here, like without knowing what you were gonna show me, my Euro GBP trade is a perfect example of me like focusing on those type of trades, right? Not focusing on this move here, on this zone here, right? Like this. Because this is one whole move, because the trend is still clear right here, right? The trend is clear. It's not like this one does a pullback and this right here, the volume here is in charge of breaking it, right? Because this low was created. We're in a downtrend. So it's this up here, right? You understand it?
Yeah.
And I personally like to go down on the 1 hour to take more trades, but have you ever heard of the number theory?
No.
No? Okay, whenever I'm looking to enter a trade, like give me any pair you want.
Um.
And this works on any pair, any currency, like this numbers, right? The number theory states it's a specific set of numbers.
Any pair or currency?
The what?
You said any pair or currency?
Any pair, yeah, any currency pair.
Okay. Um, the GBP JPY.
GBP, JPY, right? And this, I use this right now. You're day trading, or you're trading just in the 4 hour, or you're trading lower time frame.
I'm trading on just the 4 hour right now because
Okay,
I
okay.
don't, I'm not sure if I know how to do the 1 hour yet.
If you want to find more setups, I suggest you go down to the 1 hour, right? Especially if you have market structure down correct. I suggest you go down to the 1 hour to find more setups. But
Um,
me personally, what I do, like the Euro GBP trade, right? That's my main focus this week, that Euro GBP pair. And when I start stacking, It's like if I stack 10 orders there, it's for the same reason, right? Because if I don't see anything else on any other pair, there's no reason for me to be analyzing any other pair if I have a perfect setup on one, right? So I'll rather avoid all the stress, all the headache, and just focus on one that is giving me everything I ask for. But this, if you want to go on smaller time frames, or even whenever you're trying to enter a trade, right? Whenever you're trying to enter a trade, this is GJ, right? In the 1 hour.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you go 1 hour, 4 hour, 15 minutes. I'm just gonna plot out these numbers, all right? So the number states that what the number theory is the whole number, right? So 152. And then is the 80. All right. After the 80 is the 50. After the 50 is the 20th. After the 20th is the 0, right? So we're back to 151 right here. And I'm just plotting out these numbers, right? 80, 50, 20, 0. And then 80, 50, 20, and 0. Whenever I'm looking to enter a trade or whenever I'm entering a trade, I focus on these numbers because these numbers are psychological levels to people taking profit and for people entering on these numbers, right? Because look, I wasn't looking for the support and resistance, but these numbers are always acting as support and resistance, right? They're always holding numbers. They're always holding for the same reason because people set their stop losses there, because they said their take profits there, and they're always going to hold, and they're always going to have some sort of rejection around that area. They're always going to act as support and resistance or ceiling, and it doesn't matter how far back you go on the chart, right? Even when it's trending, doesn't matter how far back you go, you're always going to have those sort of supports around those areas. And it doesn't matter what chart you're doing either, right? Those 80s areas. So whenever I'm entering a trade, if it's coming down, right, like AUD or your GBP or any trade, I'm looking for these numbers to enter those setups because, like I said, it doesn't matter how far back on the chart you go, they're always acting as support and resistance, those specific numbers, right? So I try to enter close to those numbers as much as possible, like for the same reason, because once I see that rejection and once I see that push up or below it, like I'm gonna buy or sell, right? Like this, it holds, this holds, and then pushes up, and then it holds it again, right? And then it's always doing that. And if this one, where I found it that it works better because I was using these numbers for scalping, right? Not scalping, but day trading. I
Yeah.
would go down to the 15 minute, right? When I was doing that. Right now I just focus on the 4 hour and I just focus on one trade a week. But if I were to go back to trading, well, day trading, right? Throughout the day, I would just go to the 15 minute because on the 15 minute you could see it more clearly how it's holding the specific numbers,
Mhm.
right? Like I know you say you're doing on the 4 hour, and that's why I ask you if you wanna do like if you wanna go on a smaller time frame and take those setups, right? Because on the 1 hour I know you'll find more setups. But if you're comfortable doing the 4 hour, which is what I recommend, and especially if you just focus on one trade, right? That's me. That's my personal right now that I don't. Finally, that I got to that point where I don't need to be in the market, right? I've learned that I don't need to be in a trade in order to make money, right? And in the 15 minute, you could see it playing out more, right? This sort of setups right here, this sort of rejections around the specific numbers. You see a little bit better that how it's bouncing off of those numbers and how it's holding. And then whenever, usually you'll have a clear picture, right? With that once it breaks a specific area or it's holding a specific area, like it'll hold it more. right?
Right.
Is there anything like in specific that you're like, I want to go with this because I think this is what's holding me back?
Yeah. Um, I mean, it was really just like
So what?
the true structure. So like the true structure is always on the 4 hour.
The structure,
Yeah.
right? So the easiest way for structure, right? If you're having a little trouble in the 4 hour, I try to focus like this, right? Like this is GJ. I always try to focus on the highs. This is how I started, right? So if I have my high here, then I have my pullback here, and then I have my next high like that, right?
Right.
So this is what I'm focused right now. This is my previous push right here, correct? Right?
Uh-huh.
So I know right here, and this should simplify it like at most, right? So I know that all of this technically right now is a pullback, right? Any trade setup that is happening here, because I wouldn't be marking this like this, right? I know that anything right here is a pullback, and anything I'm looking for should just be me thinking of sales, right? I should just be thinking on I'm selling, I'm selling, I'm selling. I mean buying, I'm buying,
Right.
right? Because we're bullish, because we created this higher low and then this higher high. So anything I'm looking for is I'm buying. After I figure that out, I just put my Fibonacci, right? Right here. This is my Fib level, and I know that my most areas of interest are my 78.6 and my volume candle down here, right? So anywhere like this is where I have my bullish volume candle down here, right? So I know that my best places to buy would either be around the 78.6 or around down here with my volume candle, right? This is my whole volume candle down here,
Right.
right? And then after that, of course, I don't put them anymore, but I always have those numbers in mind, right? The ones that I told you. So the 149, right? The 149.20, right? Numbers that are close to that area. The 149.80, right? So I know that anywhere in these numbers would be, once I see any rejection on the 1 hour or the 15-minute, then I would be looking to take those buys, right? That they're inside my zone, they're close to my 76, they're close to they're inside my volume candle and everything, right?
Right.
Yeah. On then I'll go to another one that I trade, GBP USD. Right. So I traded GBP USD as well. So again, remove everything, go down, go to the 4 hour, and then I'll stick to the basic things again, right? So finding the market structure is the first thing. So again, I have my previous highs here, right? And then I have my low here, correct? Because
Right.
it was the push here, right here, right?
Yes. And then below that, yeah, that was the low right there.
The what?
Right. That was the low point.
That it went up right here? Okay, right here on this market structure, right? Because this is where I think that you're seeing it like this, right?
You're right.
Okay, so in this one, right? You see how right here we failed again to make a new lower low,
Yeah.
right? So
But it's still
technically this
bearish,
here, this
right?
push here is still a pullback, right?
Uh,
Because once you see it here on the chart, you're like, okay, this is bullish. When if you see it here, you're like, this big old push, we're bullish, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? And higher
right.
high, and then we're supposed to make a higher high up here, higher low here, and then a higher high, right? But once you start plotting it out, right? And let's say you have a downtrend. When you start plotting it out and you simplify it, you take away the lines and everything, you're like, okay, I have my pullback, right? Then I have my big old drop down to the bottom. And then I have a pullback up here, right? And then you have a push down here that makes a double bottom, right? This is still your lower low, and this is your lower high, right?
Right.
So once you're seeing it here, you know that if you push up here, right, You see how it's still bearish?
Yeah, because it hasn't broken the previous lower high.
Yeah, because since we didn't break, since if we would have made a lower low, then this would have become our new lower high, right? But we haven't broken it. We haven't broken it. We didn't make a lower low. Since it's pushing up here, but it still hasn't broken. It still hasn't broken a previous lower high. We're still not bullish, right? Until it breaks, because up to here we're still bearish, right? So it's exactly the same thing with GBP USD right here, right? But now we're adding on the candlesticks. You see how it pushes low, creates this lower low, pulls back, attempts to break it, but it doesn't make a new lower low, and now it's pushing back. So up here, right, where we have our initial volume candle up here for that rejection, right? Right there, and then we have the bearish engulfing. Now the trade would have made sense, right?
Right.
To take that short down right here, and it's just simplifying it. And that's GBP USD right here, that's GJ right there, and then
Okay, then hold on.
your
Hold on.
GBP.
If you missed that move, if you missed the sell, how could you like find an entry point?
If you miss the sell,
Yeah, how could you find another entry point?
to enter another entry for another sell,
Yeah.
you see, I wouldn't take it, right? So if I
Uh-huh.
made this entry here, I wouldn't be looking to enter a sell, because I know that technically we could push up and then we could push lower, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I know that we have to break this one, and this is the higher low that we're making, right? So my stop loss would be all the way up here. Like technically that's where your stop loss would be, right? So that's why I'm telling you that I'm always looking at those pairs. And when people tell me there's no setups, like if you're not on that GBP trade, but then you look at your GBP, right? And that's why I sent the setup today, because this setup is happening today, right? Right here, same structure, right? It pushed lower low, and then we have this retracement up here, right? And it's failing to break, and we have this rejection, this double top. So I'm at my entry right now. I'm at a good entry,
Right.
right? Like, and this is what I'm telling you, right? Because see, if I enter, the reason I'm looking for this, right, is because I'm trying to risk the less I can, right? Especially if I'm doing a small account or anything like that. I'm just trying to risk the least that I can, right? And that's what I'm telling you. If you miss that entry, well, maybe you could do that too, right? And I say maybe because it depends on what you're trading, right? So
Hmm.
if you go to GBP USD, right, to the back where we're going, let's say you missed the initial entry up there, right? And then you go to the 1 hour. You know that we're bearish, right? You know that up to this point, you know we're bearish, right? But you see how on the 1 hour, this is one whole move right here, right?
Right.
You see how on the 1 hour we are bullish, right? Because this bullish scenario I had given out on another group, right? So we're bullish here,
Right.
right? Right here. And right now we're finally making that pullback. On the 1 hour, we're finally making that pullback. But even if you're going closer, right, and you're starting to see the sort of declines here, right, like this, and then pushes, and then right here where it pushed up and then it's falling, you should be looking for anything at the 1 hour structure, waiting for those pullbacks, rejections, and then selling, right, adding on to those positions. But knowing that right here, right, that your setup should be like this, right? Your stop loss should be below the previous higher low, and then you take profit down here, right? Like that. Because now you're
Right.
trading on that 1 hour time frame, right?
Right.
Like it's just simplifying it and breaking it down, right? Breaking down like on the type of trading you're doing. But if you're doing the 4 hour and you miss the trade, just look for that perfect setup. There's a bunch of pairs, especially if you're analyzing multiple pairs, it should it should be well done, right? It should be easy to find them. And that's why I told you I focus on other GBP pairs, especially if I miss them, right? Because another trade I'm looking to enter is GBP AUD, right? And I'm looking to enter this trade on a buy, right? For the same reason. Go down to the 4 hour, right here, because I know it's been choppy. Then let me erase this, right? And look, and it's creating that pattern already, and it's the same thing, right? So I have this push down here, and I have this push up, right? And the trade,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was your group that took this trade, that took the setup, right? The sell. I don't know if it was the people in your group or another group, right? So the sell was there. You see it? Persian gold
Yeah, I
price is
see
still
it
there,
because
right here.
it broke the previous low. It made a lower high and a lower low.
Yeah, right here, the pullback, and then
Yeah,
the sell signal is there. The bearish confirmation is there to sell, right?
right,
So even right here where it's at, because the reason I was looking to enter this buy is because I know that I'm counter trending the trade, but I know that my risk reward is there, right? Because I'm still following my same rules. I'm still following them. I have my bullish candle there, right? Right
right,
here. I have my Fibonacci because I know that now my risk reward is there, right? If I see that confirmation, and if I see my confirmation play out, and I decide to enter my long position, right? I know that my stop loss is somewhere down here, and then my take profit is up here, and possibly maybe up here, right? Because
right,
it's been consolidating right here, right? Like this,
right,
right? But like I'm telling you, the setups are there. Like there's no, if you miss a trade and the trade is already all the way up here, like there's no reason for me to try to enter. It's like the metaphor I've used before. It's like trying to jump on a moving train, right? There's no need for
right,
it. Just wait for
right.
the next one, or protecting your money, protecting your capital, right? Because just right now, going over this, I showed you the GBP trade that is playing out, and I showed you that you're a GBP trade that's playing out, right? And like
Right.
I said, if you're having trouble with market structure, always like just remove everything from the chart and start fresh, right? Start from your previous ones, right? Start from your, like in this one, if you saw this right here, and then you saw this low, right? Like this, you'll be like, okay, I would have been looking for anything for a sell. But now that I'm seeing this, right, and knowing in your head that you're counter trending, right, or that you're taking a counter trend here, right, that you're like, okay, this is my move. So I'd be looking for anything for a buy, right, following my rules. I would add my volume candle, right, my volume zone, and then
Mm-hmm.
I would add my Fibonacci, right. And I always
Right,
simplify like that. If the chart has been messy or I've been drawing on it too much, I just remove everything and add it, right? So
okay.
now it
And
makes
it's a
sense why I
volume
would enter.
zone, and it's a volume zone because it came all the way
Yeah,
back
this
up
candle right
after
here
the
started that move up.
yeah. Okay.
hmm Does that clear it up a little bit more?
Yeah, yeah, that clears it up more.
Any questions? Any doubts?
Nope.
All right. Yeah, man. But like, I seen you posting and I seen you trading. Like you're doing everything good, and those little things that you're messing up the zones and all that is little things that you start to catch on, right? And we could keep on refreshing. Like, if we have another session, maybe next week or whenever you feel like you need a little refreshing up, like we'll be going over those little things that need that fine tuning, because sometimes it's those little things that mess you up that you're like, okay, like I understand it, like I see the trades play out, but the more you simplify it, I can guarantee you, the more you simplify it, the easier it'll get. Like when I show you this, that I make it, when I go over it, people always tell me, man, whenever you're doing it, you make it seem so simple, right? And I'm like, it's not that I'm making it look simple, it's just that I'm not overcomplicating it anymore. I'm just following the rules, like my rules of trading, my way that has worked for me. I'm just following that. And if there's not a trade there, I'm not gonna take it. I'm not just gonna jump in a trade just because, like, I want to be in a trade,
Right.
right?
Okay, so I have another question. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, I think I forgot the question. Wait a minute.
Yeah, what is it?
Hold on one sec. I forgot
Well,
it. It was there, but it left.
you could just
Okay,
text it
so
to me if you remember it.
when I'm looking at a chart,
Yeah.
um, what's like the amount of time that should be on the screen? Like the past month, like the past couple weeks?
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's the most you should go back?
Yeah,
Oh, me personally, you see my chart, right?
yeah.
This is usually as far as I'll go back, right? So maybe like about a month back,
Okay.
a month back of charting. I won't go back. I won't. There's this thing called on MetaTrader, if you're using MetaTrader, where it says push chart to the left, right? That it'll give you this extra space up here.
Yeah,
Because I don't like to have my chart like this, right? Because if I have it like this, I feel like I can't tell where the chart is gonna go,
right.
like right here, because
Okay.
the chart is already drawn out. But if I have
Because
my
that's
chart
kind of
like
how I
this,
was feeling.
the
Because
what?
I had that's why I would think the chart would be going up because I would be looking at it on like a even bigger time frame.
If you look at it a
Like,
bigger time frame and you're trading on the 4 hour, right? If you look at it on a 1 day, right? Like maybe this will help you out, right? Determining the structure that it's at. And the reason I am saying it'll help you out, because look, on the daily you could do something like this, right? You find the previous leg on the daily. So in this case, it's pretty basic, right? The previous
uh-huh.
leg here was this one, right? This was the previous leg, right? Because this was the previous move right here on GBP right?
Right,
So the now that it's there, now you know what that your Fibonacci goes from here to here, and that you will be taking a long position, right?
right,
Like it's easier to draw like that because on the daily, if you go to the daily, because now you just look for the previous leg. It doesn't matter the trade you're trying to take, right? You just go to the previous leg. You just go to what it previously did, like from the push here to the push here. So you would do your Fibonacci, right? Like that.
right.
So that's what I'm telling you. Like, just go to the previous one to if you're doing on daily. But I suggest just stick to the 4 hour, because if you start forgetting about any other time frame, right, and you just focus on the 4 hour, even if you keep on messing up, right, eventually you're gonna master that 4 hour, right? You're gonna know exactly what the 4 hour is gonna do. You know exactly what the why that candle looks that way or how it's going to close, right? So yeah, I don't go back that much. As long as I know where my current structure is like this. So that's why I say like I always go back a month at most.
Okay.
All right. And then there's AUD news I didn't see, but this will probably help it push up or down. But I'm thinking it's gonna maybe help it push up. Right, those people that were shorting should already have their profits down here being taken.
Okay. And could you, let me see. Could you go over Euro USD one more time?
On Euro USD,
Yeah.
right here on the 4 hour. I'm gonna remove everything, all right, like that, right? Right here. If you're trying to find something right on Euro USD,
Yeah, I mean, I did see the sell a little bit ago when it was at the like 1.195 area. Then it broke through. So I was looking for that sell right where it is right now,
Mm-hmm.
at, at that area.
Okay, if you're looking at euro like this, right?
Uh-huh.
If you're looking for a sell, right? If you're looking for a sell, you should know where you're taking that sell. So you should know that it was this candle here that broke the structure, right? Over here,
Right,
right? That candle over here broke the structure and price is currently in it right now, right? Right here. So you would have a validation of why you're entering a short, right?
right,
You know why you're selling and why it's gonna supposedly gonna push lower, right? If you're on this bullish trend right here, that the chart is completely bullish, right? That this last push is completely bullish, and that you're like, okay, I might be looking for a buy instead of a sell right here. And you have this sort of candle right here holding, right? You're like, okay, I need to find those zones to those zones that we're holding, right? And this one right here, look. See, because it's all about the volume zones, right? You see how this zone is very important right here? This zone, because right here when it had pushed, this one was that made that higher high earlier, and then it tried to break down, rejected, finally broke through it, retested it, tried to break through it again, and then it made it drop more, right? Right
right,
here when it came the first time, we had this sort of rejection, and then it failed, and then tried to push up again, and then the momentum is there that broke through it, right?
right,
So now that we've gone back to this candle that started that break of this one right here, because we've confirmed that this area is very strong. So even if you're waiting for this to take a buy here, right? If you're waiting for this to take a buy here, especially with this holding here, you know that this zone is important to touch, right? Because of the past, what we've seen, right?
right,
So I know that even if I'm looking for this buy and I'm looking to on when I'm gonna enter the buy, my best buy, my best probable buy would be here on this pullback to here, right? Like if it drops down there, because I know that there's some sellers here or there's some people that are gonna push price down here, and it started happening based on this, right? Based on that candle over here. So I know that when it drops down here, I know why when I see a bullish engulfing or any sort of confirmation candle, I would put my buy there and my take profit maybe up here again or a possible higher high, right? But I know my reasons now why I'm going long right here. And I know that if I'm entering a short position right here, I also know that I'm entering because of over here. I saw my bearish engulfing candle right there, right? My
right,
stop loss up here, and then my take profit here, right? Like that, right?
right.
Like, do you see where I'm going at it? Like, I need to make sure that you understand what I'm explaining, because like I don't want you to get lost and be like, okay, I'm not
Right.
understanding.
I think I'm getting it because those are the previous volume zones, right? So you just like just pull them across.
Because of the what?
They were the previous volume zones since they like that was a volume zone where it was like a lot of rejection. So,
Yeah. Exactly,
yeah,
right? So that's what I'm looking for. I'm always looking for my volume. If I'm trading right here, I always have to know why I'm entering the trade, right? And which one. And look at my risk rewards. You see how my risk rewards always have the least amount of risk, right? Because now, based on this, what I'm trading on my volume zones, right? I'm trading based on those volume zones. I know that I'm trying to risk as least as possible, and I'm trying to catch these tops and I'm trying to catch these bottoms, right? Which is the whole point of trading, trying to catch those tops and bottoms right here. So that's what I'm telling you. If the trade already happened, what you asked me earlier, like how do you jump on those trades? That's why I don't enter on those trades. Instead, I'm trying to find those setups like that. Right, and right here, I explained to you why I would have entered here and why I would enter down here. Right?
Got you. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, like you're barely getting used to this way of trading, right? So don't expect it like for you to just be catching on that fast, right? Like especially after if you've done it for a certain way, like through so long, right? Like little by little, you start to get better, but because I can guarantee you, like in 1 month, you'll be like, holy shit! Like now, I understand it 10 times more than I understood it last month, right? And there's little things that, and just like you did right now, the things that are confusing you, like keep on doing the same thing, keep on writing them down, like so you don't forget next time, and then start keeping like a kind of a way of a journal of the trades that you're taking, right? Because that way, like it'll start helping you out which things you're missing, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, man. And like I said, there's no rush to build an account, right? Like once I see the people start being consistent, that's when I'm gonna give you guys that 5K to manage. Which, like, if you get to that level of consistency of being able to make good profits, 4 weeks should be more than good enough for you to build a good amount of money in that 5K account that you can withdraw and actually start trading real money. Then that's why I stay my whole point across of there's no rush to it.
Okay.
All right. All right, bro. Well, I'll let you go again. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me or just message me through Telegram. I'll try to reply faster. I should be done with the whole immigration thing tomorrow. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, and
All right.
then
Thank you. Have a good
no
rest of
problem,
your
man. That's
day.
what I'm here for. All right, bro. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.